I'm Lindsey Griffith, and I'm the Federal Policy Director at Clean Air Task Force. Clean Air Task Force is different because we focus on all of the options that are going to be available to us to address climate change. We don't take anything off the table. This is a huge challenge, so without all of those options, we probably won't make it. It's really about, making sure that we have carbon capture, nuclear, that we have geothermal, that we have all of these different technologies at our disposal. If we're going to hope to reach deep decarbonization goals by mid-century, we're going to need incredible action to happen in the US and around the world to make sure that we have the frameworks in place that are going to implement all of the different technologies and see those things deployed in a way that will reduce our emissions. Our Clean Air Task Force experts take an evidence-based and really focused approach to what policies will work. So there's lots of different types of policies that we work on at Clean Air Task Force. One is in regulation, where we try and set standards and encourage high standards to reduce our emissions in the targets and ways that we need to by the dates that we need to. That involves for us hitting net zero by mid-century. In the other policy spaces we work on, we often are looking at clean energy taxes or other incentives that are going to support some of the technologies that will let us decarbonize. Without those technologies, we won't be able to hit our targets, even if we set the standards. So it's really a complementary approach, using all of these different types of policies to get to where we need to go. Getting policy enacted takes years. So there are a lot of steps involved. First, at Clean Air Task Force, we start by identifying what the gap is. So we spend a lot of time looking at our energy system and saying, where are the technologies and the pieces that we're going to need to decarbonize? So the next thing that happens is we have these policy design phases where we work with our teams and come up with a solution set. And usually that involves a menu of options. We try and think of our policies in a way that will allow us to be flexible and see them enacted in one form or another, regardless of sort of what is going to happen in Washington in the next year or two. My hope for federal policy on climate for the next few years is that we'll seize the opportunity that's in front of us, make progress today, and also improve the politics for the future. Climate presents a huge challenge for us, but it's also an opportunity. The economic opportunity that addressing climate change could bring in the next decade will matter for communities around the country, not just here in Washington or on the coast, but across rural America. When we build out the energy infrastructure we're going to need to address climate change, deploy all of the innovative clean technologies we need, Clean Air Task Force is a different type of climate NGO because this is an organization that takes a pragmatic, analytically sound approach to thinking about the solutions we're going to need to address the climate crisis and reach deep decarbonization. And on the advocacy side, it's an organization that is putting all of our resources behind it. We are pushing every day to make things happen, as well as to change the political environment in which those decisions are being made to make the possibility of more happening